Yo, Hulkamaniacs, it's Thanksgiving night, and this is the happiest time of year for all the maniacs, brother. You know, me and all my little Hulksters, we got a lot of things to be thankful for. Number one, we're thankful for being happy and very healthy. We're thankful for having time to share with our loved ones. We're also thankful that Hulkamania is still the strongest force in the universe. And after the turkey's done, after the blessings are all done, I can tell you what the Hulkster's mostly happy about. It's Survivor Series time, and I'm thankful for my team of Hulkamaniacs.
I'm thankful because I'm rich and you're not.
I'm thankful for having Damien and the DDT.
You know what we're thankful for? We don't have to fight each other.
Oh, yeah, I am thankful that I am the only man worthy of being the Macho King. Oh, yeah.
I'm thankful for the privilege of living right here in the good old U.S. of A. Tough guy. I'm thankful I've got the big earthquake on my side.
What I'm thankful for Thanksgiving? For my polka dots.
I'm thankful for the judges I serve.
I'm thankful for wrestling, cutting, and strutting.
I'm thankful for my good looks.
I'm thankful for having the most ravishing body in the WWF. I'm thankful because I ate Ricky Rude.
I am thankful for being the world's smartest man.
I'm thankful for being absolutely perfect.
Yeah, we're thankful for having sardine stuffing in our turkey tonight!
I'm thankful for spending Thanksgiving with all the members of the Heenan family.
Thanksgiving every day, but especially this day, as the Warriors give me the intention to deliver the power at Survivor Series. It is going to be a war!
The WWF Survivor Series, the Thanksgiving night tradition, the ultimate in team competition, when team captains Ultimate Warrior and Andre the Giant join fellow members, the Anvil Jim Neidhart, along with Haku, as they join the Rockers and the Brain Busters. It's the Ultimate Warriors against the Heenan family. Team captains Rowdy Roddy Piper and Ravishing Rick Rude join fellow members Superfly Jimmy Snuka and Mr. Perfect, along with the Bushwhackers and the Fabulous Rougeaus. It's Roddy's Rowdies against Rude's Brews. Team captains Hacksaw Jim Duggan and the Macho King Randy Savage join fellow members Rugged Ronnie Garvin and Greg the Hammer Valentine, along with Bret Hart, along with Dino Bravo, Hercules, and the Earthquake. It's the 4x4s against the King's Court. Team captain Dusty Rhodes and the Big Boss Man join fellow members Brutus the Barber Beefcake and Bad News Brown, along with the Red Rooster, Rick Martel, Tito Santana, the Honky Tonk Man. It's the Dream Team versus the Enforcers. Team captains Hulk Hogan and $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase join fellow members Jake the Snake Roberts and Zeus, along with Demolition and the Powers of Pain. It's the Hulkamaniacs versus the $1 Million Team. It's the Survivor Series.
Mr. Sean Cunningham's like saying.
I just want to say thanks. We had a blast.
Mr. Sean Cunningham's like saying.
I just want to say thanks. We had a blast.
How can you not?
Well, I don't want to. Like, are we taping now?
No, we're not taping yet.
That's what I'm saying. Like self-editing.
Do you want to be taping right now?
I don't. No, I'm just trying not to say what I want to say because I'll just get rolling, and then when I do it the second time, it won't sound as good.
Well, what if? Okay, I know there's been times, and this is definitely a boy that cried wolf type of scenario here.
Yes.
I always record everything.
Yes.
The people at home that aren't listening to this because we're not recording, I just wanted to say, I tape everything from the minute we get on the phone till the minute we
get
leave
off.
Yes. I just chop off the beginning part where we talk about our lives and bitch about our jobs and all that shit.
Oh, fun crap, yeah.
So, if I were to tell you right now that we're recording right now, you would say what? And again, I didn't mean for this to happen this time. But
we got onto the whole Charlotte and Paige thing, and I had.
What's the show called right now that we're doing?
Oh, well, first we're doing War Weekly.
Okay, well, greet the people.
Well, we should greet the people. My name is the Commissioner Sean Cunningham, and along with me is the Grime Minister Luke Force.
You're going to be busy tonight.
I am.
I think most wrestling fans are going to be busy, but you're going to be extra busy.
Really extra busy on Twitter. Follow me at War Commissioner, and I'll be live tweeting during Survivor Series.
Right.
Yes.
And you're not the guy with the profile picture of Colonel De Beers, right?
No, I'm not.
No, you're the other War Commissioner. Okay.
Are you serious? I didn't even know about that, if that's true.
I've had some fans that have got at me and said, they had some pretty questionable emails or not emails, but
Twitter stuff?
What do the kids call it these days? The hip hopping and the flip flopping and the text messaging and
the direct messaging on Twitter, I think.
Direct messaging and then
okay.
The Facebook inbox. I think it was mostly Facebook inbox.
Okay, so it's not coming from me.
Not from Twitter. So maybe not from Twitter.
Okay, so. Yeah. If it's coming from Facebook, it's not from me. I don't use that handle on Facebook at all. So.
Right, just on Twitter.
Just on Twitter.
So, at War Commissioner. Yeah. Only one M in this particular commissioner because that was all there was room for.
Yes. War _ Commissioner. That's why there's only room for one M.
Right. But you'll recognize Sean.
Yes.
He's got that celebrity face.
Thank you very much for
that. The face for radio. Perfect face.
Thank you.
Yeah, 1989 called it. Wants their joke back.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, okay, so since we're recording, I might as well also introduce myself and say that I am the Grime Minister Luke Force, and welcome to this very special live Survivor Series preview. What a build it's been, Sean.
The build that's changed direction about 4 times.
Obviously the most talked about story right now for this week would have to be the finish of Raw with the women, the Divas Revolution, getting the main event slot.
They're trying.
In a segment that has been very controversial, highly criticized. You wrote about it. I'm ready to talk about it. But for the people that wanted to see your piece, how would they go about checking that out?
They would go to Wrestling Audio Revolution, all one word, .blogspot.com, or they would go to our Facebook page. There are links there, or there's links on our website at WrestlingAudioRevolution.com.
You are a promo machine, Sean.
Got to get it all in.
But you do have to understand, and you have to be a little bit, just be a little bit empathetic with people. Is that the right word?
Yes, very good.
That aren't readers. Because there are a lot of people out there in 2015 that don't know how to read, or don't like to read, or don't want to read.
A lot of people just don't like to read stuff. I think it's
right.
That.
But they all have, a big bookshelf with all these books on it to look smart, but they don't actually like to sit down and read.
Yeah.
So now that I've insulted 3/4 of the audience, why don't you just sort of reiterate, expand upon some of the things you talked about in your piece that you wrote about the Charlotte segment?
Well, what I wrote about the Charlotte segment was basically just I was impressed on one hand they were given the main event slot, as I think a lot of people were. I was surprised.
I was, yeah.
And the amount of time they were given to talk, that it wasn't a wrestling segment. They did a contract signing, so they're talking, which for the Divas is pretty shocking too. But it's where the subject matter went, because they went from the match on Sunday to their history together as friends in NXT to Paige being a heel and using Charlotte, which is fine. And then they went to that very uncomfortable spot. They talked about her younger brother, Reed Flair, and talked about his death, and talked about Paige made the remark about, your brother wasn't much of a fighter either. And I'm like, you really went there on live TV.
And for those that don't know, Reed Flair, and that's probably a whole fuck of a lot of you, which is, again, another criticism of that segment. But the fact is, Ric Flair's son, his youngest son, Reed Flair, I think it was about 2.5 years ago. It wasn't 3 years ago.
Yeah, it was 2.5 years ago. You're right.
2.5 years ago, passed away of a drug overdose after having a long battle with addiction. And obviously a very sad story, something that hits home. But anyway, Sean, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you. I just wanted to make sure everybody understood who Reed Flair is, because WWE sure didn't do much to explain that. It kind of came out of nowhere.
No, and that's why you had all this backlash of all of us who know, the wrestling fans who know who Reed was. And to me, and I'm sure to a lot of others, it was a lot of people being upset over the fact that the way that he died, and if you're going to bring it up later on, it's in very bad taste. And the other thing, I don't think you really need to use that to sell this match or this show. And I think that might sit with a lot of people, and it doesn't really work.
They've had their problems, obviously, with the Divas Revolution on Raw, and I've criticized it, and I think you criticized it.
We've all criticized it.
Everybody out there has. There's been holes in it, Swiss cheese-sized holes in the way that they presented this thing on the main roster, as opposed to the NXT version, which was great and really did organically get all of the girls over.
And continues to, if you watch it.
And continues to, and has a very simple formula, but it is a formula that works. Yeah. They pick one girl at a time as the main focus and have all the other ones being built up underneath her. The way that they did it on Raw, with everybody showing up at once and all being sort of thrown down your throat at the same time. All great talent, but you didn't have any time to really get to know them. I don't think that the casual Raw audience really knew very much about these new girls at all.
No.
Other than they were good, probably, good wrestlers.
And better than 90% of the stuff that was already there.
Yeah, and better, yeah, exactly. Just a better presentation in terms of an in-ring product. But, desperation? Does that sum up why they did it?
I think so, but again, I don't know why. I'm not sure why they feel that desperate. Because you know what? Your subscribers to your network are going to watch the show. And if you wanted extra subscribers, I don't think bringing up the Flair family history is going to buy you any more subscribers on Sunday.
There's something very important that needs to sort of be pointed out before we go any further with this conversation, too.
Yeah.
It's not just the fact that they did it, that they wrote it, that somebody came up with that angle and said, this is a good idea, let's do this. The fact that Ric Flair and his wife, who have both publicly come out and said they didn't know anything about it until they watched it unfold on television.
Yeah, that's bad taste.
Ric Flair loved Reed, obviously. He loves all of his kids. But that absolutely tore his heart out when Reed passed away. Especially, like I said, it was a long battle with sort of the wrong influences and just problems with drugs, etc. It's been well documented. To those that have actually, been exposed to that kind of story, like the average WWE audience doesn't know a thing about any of that.
Nope.
And I think that went over the majority of the audience's head. All they know is that all of a sudden there's, a pull apart, which was great. That stuff was great. And I understand the idea of having to stir real emotions. But the fact that Rick and his wife were not notified that this would be on the air, and they had to watch it unfold on television, 2.5 years. To anyone out there that's lost somebody important to them in their lives, you understand, 2.5 years, it may seem like a long time.
But it's really not.
It's really not. In terms of wounds being healed, for God's sakes, Sean, Triple H couldn't text
I was
Rick.
going to say, how did this get all the way through creative? That's what I want to know.
That's the real thing. Without the blessing of the parents.
And on top of that, I understand what they're trying to do. Why was it out last? Why?
Because they knew that it would cause controversy, right? Yeah. They knew that it would have people talking, even if it's for all the wrong reasons.
And it is.
They realized that, which is, again, here's another criticism of this whole handling of this situation. I don't know if you saw the statement,
really
Sean. You probably did.
Statement. Yeah.
What a scumbag fucking statement that was.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
You're gonna blame Charlotte.
Yeah.
You're gonna say that she was the one that they almost made it seem like, we were gonna drop it. But she made us put it back in.
Oh, BS.
What Ric Flair said on his podcast is 100% real. You don't need to know the inside facts to just know the way that company works. It's happened time and time again. This is clearly a Vince idea.
Yes.
Now, somebody may have pitched it to him. They probably did. It probably did not necessarily start with him as,
think so.
The impetus. But he was the guy that let it go through. And the reason he let it go through is because he thought it would cause controversy. It would stir emotion. And people would be talking about it.
And they are.
And they'd have to see what happens next. It's the old controversy creates cash.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which was an Eric Bischoff
that was his book
tagline. Which I need say no more. Again, it's just unbelievable that this thing went as far as it did.
Can I bring up an interesting point? I thought about this after I had posted, but I remembered it. A couple weeks ago on WB Network, they had one of the Table for Three little sit-down shows they do, and it was Tamina Snuka, Natalya, and Charlotte. And Natalya brought up Reed during that conversation on camera.
So, listen, everybody, and I know what you're saying, and you're 100% right. Everybody knew that this was still an open wound.
Yeah.
They knew with Rick that when he saw that it would kill him. And people can say, well, it's Reed, and Reed loved the business, and he loved to be involved. This was not positive things being said about Reed.
No.
They were using the negative, real life
to get
story
heat on a match.
To get heat on a heel. And yes, to create emotion that looked good on television. But to put Charlotte in that position, and Rick said it on his podcast, that, she's in a shitty position.
Because
anybody... No, and that's what a lot of people say. Well, if she really was uncomfortable with it, she could have said no. It's not that simple, people. Don't oversimplify anything in life, especially in these days and times.
People need jobs.
People need jobs. She's got the women's title, the Divas title. They're going with her. She's getting main event segments offered to her. What more really needs to be said? People understand the position she was put in. For them to come out with their statement and blame her,
which was ridiculous,
essentially, or at least throw her under the bus and say, it was her idea.
Which is BS.
This was something she came up with. And we tried to get rid of it from the show because it seemed uncomfortable, pretty much. I'm paraphrasing, but this is really what the sentiment was. So, wow. WWE, it's not the first scumbag move they've ever pulled, but my God, it's up there.
It's up there.
This is a kid. This is a kid that died.
Yeah.
He was young, and he had a problem. And now it's being used in storyline without parents being notified.
And hopefully we get through Sunday, and that's the last we hear of it.
Right. We all assume that this is something so that the babyface triumphs and it was a feel-good story. If you want to look at it even from that standpoint, bad storytelling. You should have educated the people ahead of time as to who Reed was.
Yes.
If you were insistent on doing this storyline. Because they just drop it out of nowhere. And again, like I've said, it went over the majority of the people's heads.
Until you got to the pull apart, or until you did some reading afterward. And then you're just mortified.
You're mortified. And the kids that don't know, that look at it, I want to, go on Wikipedia and
who's Reed Flair?
Who's Reed? And then you read this stuff about him having, a drug problem and passing away from an overdose. Any way you look at it, you're not really putting Reed in the best light.
No. The thing was, you and I saw it knowing. I saw it, Monday night, and I'm going, they didn't really just go there.
They went there.
And they did. And I'm like, oh, gosh, here we go again.
So are you assuming that we are going to get Charlotte triumphing now, tonight?
Yeah, I think so.
Or they're just going to blow the story off, though? Because where do you go from there?
Because I think due to all that, it's been such bad press so quickly that I think you need to blow it off.
Yeah, you bring up a good point.
This has not been, this isn't just negative press and when they're using it to build. This is bad heat. This is not heel heat. This is advertisers may pull. This is people are going to go away. You need to get rid of this story now.
It really does feel like the benefits did not outweigh the risk or the bad publicity.
Agreed.
And again, it just feels like, there's been the ratings problems, the slumps, and again, like the Divas Revolution thing hasn't necessarily clicked. It's starting to, but
it took a long time.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing it seemed to have taken is the Bella is leaving, but that's a different discussion, I think, too.
Sure. But didn't I say that? Like a few months ago, I said until they step aside, you're not going to have the proper, Divas division.
It's a real fight.
Right. The Brothers of Destruction, The Undertaker and Kane versus the Wyatt family. It has been officially announced it will be Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman. I can't believe they're not putting Luke Harper in this match. He was the only guy that was going to make this watchable.
And now it's going to be ugly as crap. And because Braun Strowman doesn't move or sell anything or do anything. And Bray Wyatt is just there to look scary, really. Like, he's a good wrestler, but they built the character so that he doesn't do a lot physically.
Well, that's a nice way to put it, and you're definitely protecting him with that analogy. Another way to put it is that he's never had that breakthrough match yet.
Very true.
I don't think Bray Wyatt has had a great match yet. So, the closest thing may be that last Hell in a Cell match
with Roman and all the tables.
Also some of the Bryan matches, but again, I don't know that I've seen a great match from Bray Wyatt yet. Undertaker and Kane at this stage of the game, I don't anticipate a great match. I looked forward to seeing Luke Harper in there with Undertaker.
I did too, and I'm sad it may not happen. And I'm saying it may not happen because
I'm sure he'll be involved in some way.
You know that there's weird stuff's going to happen.
Yeah, a weird build. I mean, we were talking about the Charlotte storyline that sort of closed Raw this week and how weird that was. This one's been pretty weird too, and I don't just mean some real hokey shit.
Well, but I think that's the whole point. This angle's been about hokey shit. You have 4 guys who are all characters. There's no real life in here at all.
Yeah, there's no real world characters, as Shotgun Shan would say. Just a whole lot of mythological bullshit.
That doesn't lead us to anywhere.
Well, yeah, where are we going with this? To me, I feel like this is a placeholder of a feud. I don't know that necessarily Undertaker's going to be involved with Bray Wyatt or the Wyatts in any way come WrestleMania season.
No, I don't think so either. But I mean, I think this feud was supposed to be something else, and unfortunately, it's a victim of the drastic changes that had to go on when Seth Rollins went down.
So, Brothers of Destruction win?
I think so. Like that's
just a one and done.
I think this is a one and done because this is all about like 25 years of the Undertaker. Like WB has spent a whole week doing documentaries and reflection shows about 25 years of the Undertaker. So I can't see doing this match on this show and having Taker lose.
You could always do it for the heat, though. Have him get really just the complete destruction of the Undertaker tonight. I mean, I could see that too, but I think you're probably right. I think this is just something to get him on the card. And when you say that, I mean, look at the Wyatt family, just from a physical standpoint. What an impressive group of guys.
Yes.
Scary group of guys. Huge guys. And they all have a great look. Really, they do. The fact that WWE can't do more with them, and if this truly is just a placeholder and there's being fed to Undertaker and Kane just so that we can get Undertaker on the card, that, again, goes to show you just how bad the creative is in WWE right now. Can't come up with anything better for these guys.
And the other thing is, I mean, you pulled them apart as a faction too early. Now you put them back together and everybody's excited. And there's nobody really for them to fight.
No, and again, look at them. They should be running over everybody.
Yes, they should.
Taker and Kane should not have cleared the ring a few weeks ago when they all were in there. I thought that was crazy. And that was maybe the flag to me that kind of was like, well, maybe they are going to win at Survivor Series. Otherwise, why are you burying these guys?
Well, and then this week you had the sheep mask druids.
Which was fine.
And Taker beat up like 6 tiny little guys, and it was fun.
Again, if you're going to do sci-fi and you're going to do cheesy 80s horror movies, then fine. Yeah. They've never had the druids attack Taker.
No, never.
Although I know it's been pitched, but they've never done that. They've never gone that way. So again, prediction, we're both picking the Brothers of Destruction,
I think this is kind of a nostalgia match, and unfortunately that's all it's going to be.
Dolph Ziggler and Tyler Breeze. Quickly just sort of give me your impressions of Tyler Breeze since coming up to the main roster.
I like it. I like he can clearly work with all these guys, and I'm glad they put him in there with an established guy. Don't really know where the character's going yet, so I'll reserve judgment completely. But I think he's going to go over Dolph clean.
Interesting. I mean, this is a good feud, actually. Yeah. I think this one could go on for a while. Yeah. I did not like that his first match, although it was in the world title tournament against Dean, I didn't like that his first match on any of the main shows was him losing to Dean.
Yeah, it was not.
Again, that's just not the right way to build up a guy.
But again, I think that was a lot of scramble booking.
Oh, it was. But it didn't need to be. You know, and I think that was my biggest criticism of that tournament.
Yeah.
It's like, I think like a lot of people are just very kind when it comes to anything involving a tournament. If you're doing a tournament, it's like, great, awesome. But I mean, it needs to be more than just a tournament.
Yeah.
And this really was just a tournament. It was just a wrestling tournament. Pretty much everything went accordingly. I mean, there was the Callisto thing, which was ridiculous that he was involved in the title tournament. It really was shining a light on just how thin
the roster really is.
How thin the roster is for the top mix, Which I thought, for that reason alone, you should have shaved it in half.
8 guys.
I didn't think it needed. Yeah, 8 guys. Just take the biggest guys and put them in a tournament.
Yep, 8 guys.
So again, that was my criticism of that. But in terms of tonight, look at it on paper. You got 2 really good matches in the semifinals. Roman Reigns versus Alberto Del Rio. We could go on and on about Alberto and how they've totally fumbled this ball, in my opinion, with Alberto, the way he's been presented on the main roster, or since coming back, should I say. I mean, the guy just has so much potential, and it's just they've done everything to diffuse that. He doesn't even talk. He has Zeb Coulter do the talking for him.
So unnecessary.
Yeah, and they don't look good together.
No.
They don't really have any chemistry. The whole storyline is corny, and
it's the opposite of Donald Trump, and I think that's what they were going for.
It is, but really what it is Vince being like, look, he left because he said there was racism. There's no racism here. Yeah. But then the question is, you've got these 2 guys that are saying, let's fuck racism, let's get together, United States and Mexico.
America, all this.
Right, and they're a heel.
Yeah.
A heel group.
Yeah.
They're heels.
Oh, I know.
So they're battling for equality, and for some reason I'm supposed to hate that. In this day and age, I don't even want to even question that. That's probably the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah, I don't even
This world is so fucked up right now.
That's a whole lengthy discussion that we don't have right now.
So you're picking Breeze versus...
I picked Breeze over
Yeah. Fuck, I hope so, because he's new. Yeah. He should be getting that's why I didn't like that he came in and did a job first match. No. He's new. He should be racking up victories. He should be getting built up. It's a good character,
he did
good
get a
gimmick.
Victory on Monday, though, thank God.
Right. And this is what they always do. Yeah. They take the piece away, then they think they can just put it in the bag, and it's just going to be like, like Jenga, but that shit already fell.
Yeah.
And you can't just put it back. So anyway,
Thanks,
take a block from the bottom, you put it on top.
Yeah, that's right.
Take a Tyler Breeze from the middle, and I do mean middle of the card, and put him on the semi-top. But anyway, so going forward, let's just reiterate, Charlotte versus Paige. You picked Charlotte. I picked Paige.
And I can see why.
But Charlotte just won the belt. Okay, fine, Charlotte. Brothers of Destruction, we both say are going to win. Yes. Although I say don't rule out the fact that they have the Wyatts completely destroy them.
Yes.
And leave them in a puddle.
Again.
Of vomit and urine and what was it that Brock said?
Urine and vomit and blood or something.
Best video package ever. Okay, so these matches. Reigns versus Alberto. I don't see any way that Alberto is getting past Reigns.
No, none.
So we agree on that. We're agreeing on a lot here.
Well, the thing is, they've made Raw the last 2 weeks the Roman Reigns show.
Yes.
Yes. If anybody was going to get past Roman, it should have been Cesaro, who was everybody's choice to be the champion anyway. But that's a different discussion too.
And what a fucking awesome match that was.
Oh
this
my
week.
God!
Listen, the wrestling has been awesome.
Yes.
Owens and Neville as well. Don't get me wrong, people. I think the wrestling on these shows have been really, really good, and it's been more, again, from a creative standpoint where it's been a turnoff for me.
It's creatively, it's not good, and what you're exposing is how thin your roster is, unfortunately, by doing a 16-man tournament.
Now, Kevin Owens versus Dean Ambrose, another great match tonight. This is going to be good. This is going to be really good, and I would assume they're going to give him a little bit of time.
Yep.
Although I would say Ambrose is the favorite, I haven't looked at the smart money yet, and I'm trying not to because it always just tends to spoil the shows.
Yeah.
I'm not looking at the smart money, folks. But Ambrose, that seems like the best story.
Yeah.
And so, who are you going with?
Let's see, this one I've been back and forth on about 70 times between, Monday and tonight, and so I'm going to go with my first gut instinct, which was Ambrose anyway.
Yeah, that's the story. I mean, when you watch the TV shows, they've been involved, and when you look at those brackets, I mean,
come on, we all looked at the brackets and saw the same thing.
Yeah, and I mean, it was predictable in that way, but sometimes predictable is the right way to go.
Yeah.
But I could also see Roman Reigns versus Owens. Listen, I could just see a scenario where Reigns and Owens go in there, and Reigns just wins, and that's your show tonight. But I could also see a much bigger. I mean, they're clearly in the whole publicity mode right now with what they did with Charlotte. So you want to get the most publicity tonight. Somebody has got to turn in a Dean Ambrose versus Reigns match. And just in these final moments of the show here, Sean, it's been a hell of a good time getting to catch up with you a little bit. But, I mean, this is the real question about tonight. If it's Reigns versus Ambrose, which I think we're both going to have to pick. I mean, we're pretty much identical with our picks for this show tonight, up and down the card.
Yes.
But, I mean, the real question is not who's going to win the matches. It's, I guess, who's going to win the main event and who is going to come out of this show tonight as a heel, or do they not pull the trigger on that tonight?
I wonder if they don't pull the trigger on that because they're so desperate for TV ratings that you do it Monday night. And can I bring up another possibility that nobody has mentioned? Sheamus has a briefcase. And
oh, God.
If Roman gets a horrible reaction as champion, do they pull out the briefcase?
Bad idea across the board, but you're right. I mean, it's there. It's in the back pocket.
And nobody's talking about it.
Yeah, but as we're coming closer to the show, I'm not ruling out the idea that Roman turns heel either. I'm really not.
No, you're right.
Clearly, it just makes the most sense going forward.
Yeah.
You would have a Roman versus John Cena match when John Cena comes back. You would have Ambrose for just the immediate future.
And then
you know, as who the crowd loves. They love him.
Yeah.
You would have Hunter and Steph being able to tell the story of Roman. Oh, look at him. Look at the beautiful hair. Look at the body.
All that stuff.
He's exactly what we want, and that's why you people have rejected him. You have Roman coming out and acknowledging that the people rejected him. It's such a more captivating product moving forward with Roman.
I agree with you.
But it's just, we're down to the pressure, Sean. What? But then Dean. Fuck, I mean, Dean goes heel, and, I mean, you kind of brought up on the last show, how well does that character work with the Authority? But if you sort of build him as their hired gun, their hired assassin.
Yeah, that works too.
The psychopath that they're willing to do business with this psychopath. And then there's always the story later on that it, backfires on them.
Yeah.
You piss off the psychopath and now he's because at any point that character could turn babyface again.
That's right.
Yeah. He's so great. There's just so much good material. If you really cut this guy loose and just let him be the heel that everyone knows he is. I'm talking about Dean Ambrose. Dean Ambrose, I mean, he could just carry the rest of 2016 being a top heel. I mean, if you left him to his own devices, because you haven't done it yet.
Nope.
This guy's extremely talented, and again, could be the craziest Terry Funk
Roddy
type
Piper
of heel.
Kind of.
Yeah. So either way, if it comes down to those two, either way you look at it, whether it's Roman turns heel, and like I said, or whether it's Dean turns heel, as long as one of those scenarios happens, I think that the product is in good hands. They've got a good top angle, and you have a top heel and a top baby face, and things are set either way you look at it. I just have that weird fear in my heart that it's going to be Owens versus Reigns. Could you have Owens win and go with the Authority? Is that out of the question?
No, none of that is out of the question. Okay, here's the thing. None of the four guys that are left, it's not out of the question for them to be baby faces, and it's not out of the question for them to be heels aligned with the Authority.
I'm going to do like Michael Cole did to Vince McMahon on Survivor Series 1997, when clearly he knew what was going to happen. But Sean Cunningham, you don't know what's going to happen.
No, I don't.
But I'm still going to ask you the same question. Ambrose versus Reigns. Who wins?
Reigns.
Babyface or heel?
Babyface.
Heel turn by Ambrose after the fact then?
Yes.
Interesting. Okay.
Same question to you.
Same question to me. Ambrose versus Reigns. Fuck, could you imagine a heel Dean Ambrose as champion right now?
Yes.
Man. What does it matter, right? I'm damned if I do, I'm damned if I don't. Anything could happen. It is the Survivor Series. Survivor Series screw job. You can't help but feel like that may be in the works of some variation tonight.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go with Ambrose winning the title, aligning himself with the Authority, and Roman is going to be chasing going into WrestleMania. I don't know if that's the match at WrestleMania, but I do feel like Roman will be.
Makes the most sense.
But then you risk having to do a match between those two and have Roman lose again before WrestleMania.
And devalue.
So Roman wins. Best thing is Roman wins as heel and goes into WrestleMania against Brock Lesnar, who wins the Rumble, and that's the big match.
Yeah, I know.
A heel Roman Reigns with the Authority versus Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
So I got to pick Roman Reigns then.
Yeah.
Turning heel.
You
Turning
do.
heel tonight.
You do.
Shit. Look what I just did.
Okay, here's the thing. For all the WWE bad ratings, and for the Seth's injury, with the 4 guys that are left in the tournament, they've put themselves in a very good position, shockingly. Because we as fans have no clue where they're going.
Imagine it's Del Rio versus Owens.
I know.
The old Savio Vega versus Mabel trick.
Yeah, I was thinking about
Nobody
that
saw that coming.
Yeah.
Nobody saw that coming. But anyways, hopefully you guys saw this coming. We're going to have to get out of here. But we'll be back again. Sean Cunningham, thanks for being here. Enjoy the Survivor Series. For people that didn't catch it at the beginning, why don't we just tell them one more time how to follow you tonight live for your live tweeting of the Survivor Series?
I will be on Twitter at @war_commissioner with 1 S on Twitter, and I should be on just before the main show gets started.
So be sure to follow him, and you can interact with the Commissioner Man. We've made a lot of friends, online friends.
We have.
Through your live tweeting of pay-per-views and such, so that's very good, Sean. And again, great work with your piece this week on the history of Survivor Series. I am the Grime Minister, Luke Force, and from myself and the Commissioner Man, we want to say one more time, enjoy the Survivor Series, peace, love, and Shanzi, tell them the rest.
Wrestling, audio, revolution.
Play it safe, never played the game. So many players, but too many pawns. Too many judges say what's right or wrong. Let them jump into the fire if they want to play. Oh, 'cause it's a deadly game that we play as we live our lives. When we say what is on our minds, play it now before the game is over. Two simple rules the devil hands us. Make your mistakes, but no second chances. Every time that you stand up, there's another chance to fall. Yeah, 'cause it's a deadly game that we play as we live our lives. When we say what is on our minds, play it now before the game is over. Quiet money, once again, AZ, firm style, back in effect, new regime.